of talk radio, you probably think of a conservative host, not a liberal one. It's because the conservative hosts are far more popular, and there are many more of them. Carol Costello is here with us now in our latest installment of talk radio, and we're talking about the Fairness Doctrine, right? People are saying it's not fair.
That's right. We're talking about the Fairness Doctrine, and we're not. In 1987, the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, rescinded something called the Fairness Doctrine. It required broadcast companies to present both sides of a controversial issue. Well, since the Fairness Doctrine went away and was repealed, conservative talk boomed on AM radio, and liberal talk faded. It's unlikely the Fairness Doctrine will return, but there is something else many liberal talkers are fighting for: localism.
You know, the right wing's going crazy.
Randy Rhodes is a progressive political talker.
They're literally at war with a feeling, not a tactic, a feeling.
On the air in Washington, D.C., where 93% of voters voted Obama. Yet the majority of political talk on AM radio is conservative.
The president is presiding over economic failure.
They just don't want to fight.
He owned that crowd.
If you know that you live in a town where everybody votes Democratic and all you have on your radio is conservative talk, then you can see how localism isn't part of the equation in media programming.
Localism. Simply put, it means radio stations would be forced to carry more local programming that appeals to local audiences. Right now, big broadcasting companies like Clear Channel Communications, CBS, and others own hundreds of radio stations across the country. And much of what they broadcast aren't shows with local personalities, but syndicated shows featuring Rush Limbaugh.
Giant economic rebound.
And Sean Hannity.
Well, he's going to rise a little faster than he ever dreamed.
Talkers, Rhodes says, do not reflect D.C.
Diversity always gets a better result than just this one steady, lockstep repetition of same talking points over and over.
In November, the FCC will hold a media workshop, as is required every 4 years. Among the topics, the state of the current media marketplace.
Men and women are dying over there in Afghanistan.
Bob Durgan, a conservative talker in Pennsylvania, is wary of localism.
They want to program the radio station. They want to tell the people what they're going to hear. They don't want the people hearing what they want to hear. They want the people to hear what they want the people to hear. And they want people to hear more liberal radio, more diversity.
Durgan says liberals want it all, even though they have plenty now, not only on the radio and cable TV,
Tonight's worst persons in the world,
but on commercial TV and in Hollywood.
Iverson Doolittle, Michael Moore.
Camille Paglia, a social critic and Obama supporter.
I find the motivation for this, all this talk about the local show, is actually covert. It's actually a way to try to ambush right-wing radio, which has indeed risen up as a powerful force in response, to the shutdown of conservative viewpoints coming from the major media.
Rhodes disagrees. She says millions of Americans get their political talk from AM radio, 91% of which is conservative.
I do want to be on their stations. I want a crack at their audience, and let me live and die by the success or failure. But I don't have that access.
The new federal communications chief is a fan of diversity in media ownership, and some of his hires have upset conservative radio talkers who feel the Obama administration is out to shut them down, even though Mr. Obama has pledged not to reinstate the Fairness Doctrine or anything that resembles it. I asked Michael Harrison from Talkers Magazine if this idea of localism will be taken seriously by the FCC. He says, yes, it will be, but the issue is so politically charged right now, he'd be stunned if the FCC went forward with it in any serious way. Kiran?
Very interesting, and as we said at the beginning of this, Rush was talking about you this week because of your stories. He claims that you're a stalker and that we have a reporter, you, assigned to only cover Rush Limbaugh.
I know. He said other things that were not very flattering.
Yes.
I don't want to respond to Rush Limbaugh, but I will say this. If you look at my blog, many people have been critical of my reports, those on the left, those on the right, those in the middle, and many more have liked my reports. In my mind, that means I'm doing my job. So keep the comments coming. I welcome them. CNN.com/AMFix.
All right. Well, great job, Carol. We appreciate it for sure. And we also want to know, Carol loves to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do we need a new talk radio fairness doctrine, or localism. Go to our blog, cnn.com/amfix, and sound off.
It is kind of stunning, though, that you can have all that money and all that power and still have skin as thin as cellophane, isn't it?
35 minutes past the hour. Checking our